Okay guys, my second video tonight. This is going to be a response to, I think it's Mr. Hall of Fame, Brandon. I think this is your thread originally. I just saw Miko's response to it, and apparently I missed it at some point. But it is top 5 albums for heavy metal virgins, to try and like get them into metal. The way I kind of took this is, there's so much metal out there. There's power metal, death metal, glam metal, thrash metal, there's all that. So you're not going to cover everything with just 5 albums. So how I took it is the roots, the basics. If I want to just show them what it's about, and then they can expand from there, these would be the 5 I would show them. And first, of course I can't only pick 5. I have 3 honorable mentions that didn't quite make it. First one, I'm sure a ton of people have shown, and this is number 6 on the list for sure, and that's Van Halen 1 as my top honorable mention. I mean, this album was influential as hell, the 80s hair metal, but as far as heavy metal, like just straight ahead metal went, this album didn't quite fit with the other ones I had. This next one, I actually need a better copy of this, but Kiss Alive, honorable mention. Again, this got so many people into hard rock and metal, but as far as metal went, they've always considered Kiss to be more of a heavy metal or rock and roll band. But honorable mention for sure on the list. Just not trying to keep this more of a metal list, because if you're going to do hard rock and metal, you cannot do 5. And same reason this one's more hard rock, but I mean, if this was a hard rock list, this is probably number 1, and that's Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. Okay, now to my list. And these are in order of what I would show them, not necessarily the year, but in order of how I would have them listen to them. The first one is Riot-fire Down Under. This album, I believe my buddy Cody told me they actually got kicked off of I think it was Capitol or someone, Elektra maybe, for being too heavy on this album. This is 1981, I believe. Yeah. And the late Mark Real played on this. You guys know Rhett Forrester, he sang, not on this album, but on the next few albums actually. Great band. If you guys haven't heard of Riot, you don't know what you're missing out. Great early 80s hard rock, and you can hear the roots of metal in this. These guys were heavy for their time. The next one is the one live album I picked. I was kind of bouncing back and forth between this one and Alive, and this one was just metal, and I needed an album by this band in here for sure, and I was switching between this and a few of their studio albums, and then Kiss came into it, and I just ended up picking this. This is the second album I'd show them. Unleashed in the East by Judas Priest. This gives a little bit of the live element of metal, although it's not 100% live according to people. But you gotta have a Priest album on this list, and why not knock out 2 birds with 1 stone and have a live album? One of the best live albums. Alright, number 3. Of course I have to have a Black Sabbath album, so one of my favorites is actually a Dio era album. And it also knocks out you had to have a Dio album on this list. So we're going to go with Mob Rules by Black Sabbath. This album is just killer from start to finish. From the metal artwork of just these guys that are about to beat the shit out of you, to signs of the Southern Cross, Turn Up the Night, Falling Off the Edge of the World, and of course the title track. Gotta represent a little bit of the hair metal scene. So I picked this one number 4. This is what I've shown second to last, and this gets a little heavier too. Arguably, you could say this is as heavy as that Sabbath album, but that's Motley Crüe, Shot the Devil, all black cover. This is the reissue, so where it looks worn and everything. It's in a Blake sleeve, so I guess that's just like that. But where it looks worn, that's just how it came. But it's really shiny. These Blake sleeves just don't let you see black covers. It's just like a mirror. Hey, okay. So Shout at the Devil, killer from start to finish. There's not a bad song on this album. My personal favorite is Too Young to Fall in Love, but you can't even really pick a favorite off that album. And finally, the 5th album, Do or Die Here. If they don't like this album, they're not going to be into metal. If you're going to say you're a fan of the genre, you're required to love this band. One of my favorite metal bands of all time, and that is Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. I mean, The Prisoner, 22 Acacia Avenue. This album was a masterpiece, start to finish. I think it was Clyde Burr was on this one. I think Miko came in the next one. Nico McBrain. But I mean, there's not a bad song on this album either. Perhaps the weakest song is Invaders, and it's the first track, and it's still kick-ass. Hallowed Be Thy Name. Ugh. And look at that cover. This summarizes the genre pretty well. So that's my top 5 list. Riot, Fire Down Under, Unleashed in the East, Mob Rules by Black Sabbath, Shout at the Devil by Motley Crüe, and number 5, or number 1, if you want to rate them, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. Alright, take care, guys. Miko, thanks for posting a response and letting me know about this thread. Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame, thanks for making the thread if you made it. If you didn't, whoever made it, thank you. I actually had to sit and think about this for a while. Yeah, take care. Rock on, guys. Bye.